The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. Today and tomorrow are yet to be said.
Hello everyone, No One of Consequence here, back again with a new video. This is episode 58 in a series which recounts my ongoing Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which is now in its 10th year. So as always, spoiler alert, in this video I will be revealing details found in this adventure module. And as a reminder, this is the current composition of the adventuring party. Although Thorol, the magic user, is still missing. And also Varys' guard dog, Spuds Mackenzie, is still missing. So where we left off last time, the characters had been attacked by some unseen creature, presumably off-screen to the west, and Obrak had been hit with a breath weapon and turned to stone. So the characters, not knowing exactly what the threat was, they immediately retreated back in the direction they had just come from, unfortunately having to leave Obrak behind. So they regathered in the nearby fire giant's barracks room that they had just come from and decided what they were going to do next. So what they settled on, they would go back up to level 2 of this complex, and Varys would cast another animate dead spell on more of the dead gnolls that they had left up there. And then their plan was to send the zombie gnolls into that cavern and try to find out just what exactly it was that had turned Obrak to stone. So they went back up to that room where they had previously fought the gnolls, and Varys cast his spell and was able to animate 4 more of the dead gnolls. And they led those gnolls back down to that fire giant's barracks room and then spent some more time refining their plan. So they started with just having Varys, Aramis, and Garrett, who is now invisible, escort the zombie gnolls back to the area just near where Obrak had been turned to stone, and they threw a silence torch up ahead to help conceal their approach. Then Varys and Garrett continued further back down that cavern, or that tunnel, in the direction where Obrak was, taking the zombie gnolls with them. Meanwhile, the rest of the party and the Titan stayed back just on the other side of the silence torch to wait and see what might happen. As Varys and Garrett were advancing further, Garrett suddenly noticed that there was a side passage off to the pointing off to the west. And you can't see him, but that arrow marks the approximate location. So Garrett split off from Varys and went in that direction to see if he could circle around. So once Varys reached the area where they could see the now turned to stone Obrak, Aramis moved up and joined him. And then he and Varys lit torches and gave them to the zombies. And then Varys commanded the zombies to move to the west in the direction where the attack on Obrak had come from. And the torchlight from the zombies soon illuminated what appeared to be a red dragon sleeping on a pile of treasure. And meanwhile, this screenshot just shows the location where Garrett ended up at when he went circling around, and he could see the torchlight illumination as well, so he stopped short up there where he is pointed out. It soon became apparent that the red dragon was just an illusion, and instead it was a creature called a gorgon that was there. And this thing was not asleep, and it soon moved to attack Varys and Aramis in that direction. The Gorgon used its breath weapon against Varys this time, but luckily he made his saving throw and avoided being turned to stone. Then, meanwhile, pointed out in the shadows there, the still invisible Garrett now moved into the chamber and was going down to attack the Gorgon, hopefully by surprise. Which he did do, but the creature then turned and used its breath weapon against Garrett, but luckily he made his saving throw as well. And also at this point, Varys had called for the zombie gnolls to come back and help fight the thing. So luckily all of them together were able to defeat the Gorgon before it had a chance to turn anyone else into stone. Now, one of the gnoll zombies that had gone off to the west did not return. There was only 3 of them. So the characters decided to go in that direction and see if they could find what happened to that 4th zombie. They soon came to a small chamber, and they found the torch that the zombie had been carrying lying on the ground. However, there was no sign of the zombie itself. And Varys noticed a small pool of water at the far end of this chamber, so he decided to approach it. And as soon as he got to the edge of the water, a large blob-like creature lunged up out of the pool and almost ended up enveloping Varys. So Varys was able to escape from the creature, and it moved slow enough. Everyone decided to just back out of this chamber and not even bother with this monster. And Varys had his remaining 3 gnoll zombies follow along as well. Once the characters returned to that main cavern where they had just finished fighting the Gorgon, they were immediately attacked by a large group of both male and female fire giant warriors. In this screenshot, a fire giant has scored a critical hit against Aramis, and you can see the damage roll there in the chat window, and then that is tripled. And there on the screenshot, you can see Aramis's health bar, and he immediately dropped from 76 hit points to 22 just in one single hit. And damage like that would have killed any other character, but Aramis was able to absorb it. And then in this screenshot, you can see one of the fire giants had rolled a fumble, and the result of that, trip and fall to the ground, so that helped the characters. And another thing that had happened is that Garrett was reduced to exactly 0 hit points. And in my game, what that means is that he fell to the ground unconscious. Suddenly, more fire giant warriors and even a hellhound rushed out of the darkness from the northwest, charging towards the characters. In this screenshot, Gorbadoc used a holiday reward item. He was carrying the Christmas eggnog, and he gave a dose to Garrett to get him back on his feet. And then also in this screenshot, the Titan scored a critical hit against a fire giant and finished it off, and the fire giant's mostly hidden in the shadows, but the arrow points out where it's located. It was about this time that the characters realized that the second group of fire giants was being led by King Snurry himself. And so Niobe cast a blade barrier spell directly at him, and the resulting damage caused King Snurry to immediately retreat back into the darkness again. In this screenshot, the Titan has scored a critical hit against a fire giant, who the Titan told the characters is King Snurry's chief torturer. And the Titan, in addition to King Snurry, the Titan wanted revenge on this giant too, since he had frequently tormented the Titan while he was chained up in his prison cell. So even though King Snurry had disappeared, he was soon replaced by the frost giant Jarl, who, if you remember a few episodes back, the characters had encountered in here, but then he had run off, and they hadn't seen him again until now. So it was a pretty long and protracted battle, but finally only the Jarl remained. And he got to the point where he could see that the situation here was hopeless. And so once again, the Jarl tried to flee from the characters. But in doing so, and turning his back on them and trying to run, he opened himself up to additional attacks. And finally, third time a charm, the Jarl was defeated by the characters. So after that, everything was quiet again, and the characters spread out just to ensure that no fire giants were still lurking somewhere in the shadows of this chamber. But they soon confirmed that no more giants remained, and everything was safe for the moment, at least. So this time, instead of resting within the fire giant lair, the characters decided to return back to their hideout cave so that they could rest and recover spells. And another reason they wanted to go back there, they asked the Titan to carry Obrak there, and the plan was just to leave him here until a way could be found to restore him back to life. Alright, well, that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. As always, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. And if you can, share the video. And anything you can do to help support the channel, I appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye for now.
The greatest adventure is what lies